another thing could you do is provide me some feedback from the platform. You know, how was the sound? How was logging in? Was it easy? Was it hard? And then I'll just collate all the information and figure it out. So that's the housekeeping out of the way. Feel free to pop in some questions while this is all happening, which is really cool. Right, now let's talk about what we're going to achieve today. I've broken this program this course into 3 parts. Warm up, very important to warm up. Number 2, technical techniques, tips on how to draw well. And thirdly, I'm just looking at some notes here. Thirdly, it's the project. So we'll possibly cover the construction images and which is right in front of you right now. So we'll go over those and we'll sort of take it from there, and we'll see how it goes. Just going back to technical, we're going to be covering the sphere, drawing a circle and turn it into a 3D shape, and also looking at some light sources, okay, where the light comes from and how that sort of affects the shape itself. And in the warm-ups, we'll be working on how to draw a perfect circle, firstly, and this cool little character called Basic Shape Man, or Basic Shape Guy, which is what I've used in all my warm-up sessions, and it just teaches you how to move your character by using basic shapes. So it's heaps of fun. So if you haven't got any questions, I'll just have a bit of a nosy. No questions, that's cool. There's probably no one watching anyway, so that's fine. It's all good. This is a test demo. I'll give it a year and have thousands watching. Right, so grab your pencils. Make sure you got some paper, a good stack of paper. Don't worry about using rubbers. Don't use rubbers in warm-ups. Only when you're finishing off you're finishing off all your drawings is when you use rubber. This is a pencil. Now my setup firstly is I'm on a, can you see that? I'm on my iPad. But you can be on your pencil and paper is absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Because that's how we all started. I just use digital because it helps me to record everything. Oh yeah. Perfect circle. I'll just show you what I mean by a perfect circle. It would help if I had my pencil ready to go. Oh, magical. Let's put some ambient music on, shall we? Oh, what's that? Okay, well. He just rolled it in again. What's he done then? Alright. What I want you to do is get your pencil and I want you to land on your paper like a helicopter, and I want you to rotate 3 times before you hit the ground. And on your 4th rotation, you've hit the ground and you go another 3 rotations. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just keep repeating the process and go round and round and round. Alright, so just work with me. So if you're watching, please chat, say something, because I have no idea what's going on. Alright, so if you've just joined, we're just doing some warm-up sessions and it's learning how to draw the perfect circle. Now I want you to try different shapes, such as ovals, and you can turn them into from circles to ovals, and different sizes. So what I mean by different shapes is rather than doing a circle, we're now drawing ovals, and you can draw the ovals on different angles. Squash them out in smaller circles. So it doesn't really matter for a circle or an oval. It's all about relaxing and getting warmed up. So the piece of paper that you're drawing on is probably an A4. Okay, I want you to draw a whole page of ovals and circles on your A4 sheet, and then I want you to turn it around. Oh, Firehead has joined the show, hopefully, with his son. He's the IT guy. You're probably going, Rob, why am I drawing all these circles and ovals? And it's a pretty good question to ask. I get it asked all the time. Simply because every time you start a character, it's going to start off with a shape, and generally most of the time it's going to be started off with a head, and most of the time the head is going to be a circle or an oval. Okay, that's the reason why. And it's a great way to loosen up. I'm recording this, by the way, so you can come back to it at a later date and watch the entire recording. Well, let's hope it records. Okay, so you should have a page full of circles, a page full of ovals, all different sizes and shapes. I want you to flip it around. I want you to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to do some magical, whoa, check that out, man. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Going to mix it up a bit. Hopefully you can hear me. It'd be funny if I got through this entire session and no one can hear me. Let's got some ambient music going on there. Nothing like a bit of ambient music to get everyone into the mood of drawing. Now you'll find that the more you put on paper, the easier it becomes. Oh, ooh, crazy. Okay, so you should have two pieces of paper with lots of circles on them and lots of ovals. Hopefully. So there should be about 40 odd circles and ovals there to work with. Now what I want you to do right now is to turn these into real simple faces. I'm going to show you how to do this by using construction lines, or guidelines is another way we like to explain it. And guidelines help you to place the eyes, nose and mouth, and also how to put your face in a certain direction. Look up, look down, look left and look right. So let's just start with a super simple line. Straight down and across. Okay, just digest that for a second. Well, look. Hello, Marcia. I'm hoping I pronounced that correctly. Feel free to ask questions. I believe you're my very first real life student, and I hope you enjoy it because it's going to be fun. And if you've just caught up with me, if you've just arrived, I'm drawing a whole bunch of circles and ovals. I'd like you sort of just to follow with me. If you can hear my ambient music, please go, I can hear your music. I'm just winging it, I don't know. If I do too many things at once, I'll probably break it. So in all your circles and ovals, I want you to add in your guidelines. I want you to experiment with where you place them. What we're going to do is now add the eyeballs on top of the horizontal line. So very simply put a little face like that. Yeah. So what I want you to do is to go through all your circles and all your ovals, add your guidelines, then add these cute little eyeballs, nose and the mouth. Over time, you can start to develop your own characters, and you'll also be able to turn your character's head around very easily. So if I just go to this head here, and I'm going to make him sort of look up and to the right. Okay. Oh, look at that. Okay, so enjoy the process. Spend about 5 minutes on this. Watch me draw, and we can chat. We'll just have a bit of a look. See anyone making. Oh, here we go. Oh, there's someone else too. That must be your dad, Farhad? If you've got your mate here, that's even great. Okay, anyway. Maybe if I move my screen, I can. Oh, yeah, I can do that. I can watch you. Watch this cool trick. Anyway. Okay. Back to heads. When you're drawing your circles, your ovals, your guidelines, it's a really good idea to start thinking about drawing lightly. So try not to draw like the Incredible Hulk. Now I'll show you what the Incredible Hulk looks like when he draws. Oh, okay. Okay, so let's just remove that. That's how the Incredible Hulk draws. I want you to draw like you're drawing with a feather. So you can't draw hard, draw light, and keep it rough. Oh, sounds like someone's mowing the lawns. I'll have to just put me off a bit. Now, if you're a fan of Gumball, which I am, we can get into watching those guys and learning how to draw them in another episode. I'm just going to go and close this window because someone's mowing the lawns. Right. What you can also do with these warm-ups is you can scan them and send them to me. All right, and I'll show you how to do that at the end, and I'll make sure you're doing it right. Jeez, Hulk, calm down. You're funny. All right. If you can just let me know how many heads you've done right now, that'd be really useful. All right, look at that. Perfect. Once you've got about 10 heads like this created, I just want you to go through and have a bit of an experiment. You know, have put some ears on them. Give them a hairdo. Yeah, give it a bit of a shade. Nice. think about the last character that you've drawn and try and put them in there like that. So there's one of my characters. I'm going to go and put the style onto all the other shapes, but they're going to be slightly different characters. So what you're basically doing is you're developing 10 characters in 10 minutes, which is unheard of. So you're doing really well. Oh God, he's still mowing the lawns. Crikey. Just everywhere, isn't he? I need to close that window too. Why? Oh, the joys of working in your home. Oops. It should be around 10 when you're reading this. Interesting. Alright, you should have done 10. Yep. So, if you slow, don't worry about it. Take your time. That's quite cool. Now, if you look at my pen, my pencil, pen, iPencil, what do you want to call them? It's duplicating a B or a B2. Okay, a B or a B2, and I'm sort of using the side of it. Mr. Ampy, the side of it to get a real thick edge. If you make your edge too small, real sharp, you're going to get something like that. Oh, there's nothing wrong with it. You just don't get the coverage. But if you just turn your pencil on its side, so if you've got a normal pencil, you just slightly angle it and you get a nice thick side and it gives you more coverage. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're drawing. You can also start to experiment with some expressions. So let's begin with eyebrows. Now, eyebrows are going to give your character, obviously, an expression, some personality, and just help to add to your character's face. You can make them angry or evil. You can make them a little bit worried. Or a little bit goofy. Cool, nice one. Right, let's just look at this for a second and think. There's quite a few characters there, eh? Quite a few characters. So we're going to move away from this as a warm-up. We've been going for 15 minutes. Correct, we better move on. Plenty to do. We're gonna do some. I was going to do basic shape guy in this session, but I might just leave him for the next one. Basic shape guy will help us to move your character along, give him a jump, fly, roll, whatever it's going to be. I might have a look at that at the end of the session if we've got time. So I'm just looking at my notes at the moment. We're going to look at turning your circle into a sphere, into a three-dimensional shape, and putting a light source on it. So where's the light coming from? Straight in my face. We're going to do that. We're going to add some shadow on the other side. So new piece of paper, please. And this is how I do my new piece of paper. Right. Cool. Hey, let's put my logo there. Why not? Oops. So the software that I'm using, come on, what's going on? The software that I'm using on my iPad, if you're drawing on iPad or even standard Android device, is Sketchbook Pro, and it's actually free. It's free, yes. Sketchbook Pro, 100% free. So Sophia, three-dimensional, and now let's draw the perfect circle again. She's a bit thin. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so boom, wow, look at that. Now let's think. If currently it's a 2D shape, 2D. And now if the light source is coming from this angle on a 2D shape, it'd just be one flat shape, one flat shape. However, a three-dimensional shape, i.e. a sphere, will have more of a darker area down the bottom as opposed to the top. So let's just say the light's coming from this direction, the light's sort of hitting that point there. Anything on this side and area will be darker. I'll get a nice thick line actually. You go, gosh, Rob, how did you do that? It's amazing. I go, yeah, no. Marcia, it's okay to be on paper. I started off on paper, and it's the best place to start. Okay, so keep drawing on paper, mate. Just get a nice fat pencil. All right, so that's my three-dimensional ball, sphere. How did I get there? I'm going to show you. Because I've done it so many times, I see everything in three-dimensional. And it's good to see things in three-dimensional, simply because you want to be able to, in your head, turn your character around, like so. Here's your circle. Here's the trick. Right, so all I did was I imagined that my lines go, it's not very nice, isn't it? Around the back and back in front again. So they go around the front and around the back. Right, and that's your sphere. So I'll explain it to you again. So it's around the front and the back. Front, back. You're drawing right round. So rather than seeing the circle as a flat object, you're seeing it as a three-dimensional form. 3D. This is great. Okay, so I would like you to submit this as part of your to be marked. So please email it to me, and hopefully I'll be able to just go through and go, yep, no, yep, no, yep, no, yep, no, yep. Now I want you to draw a whole bunch of these three-dimensional circles, spheres. Probably about 5 would be good if we've got time. Remember how to draw a perfect circle? You go 1, 2, 3, and then land on the paper. 4, 5, 6. Move from your shoulder. Don't move from your wrist, otherwise it's going to be like that. So that's how you get into a three-dimensional sphere. Okay, the lines are not straight, they are curved. And that just gives the illusion of roundness and three-dimension, shall I say. Once you sort of figured that bit out, I want you to change where the light source comes from. So let's just say, we'll put them over here, and it's coming from the front this time. So everything on the other side is going to be it's going to cast a shadow. Now I like to put a little bit of an oval there where the light's hitting it. So everything on this side is going to be a little bit dark. Now, it does take a lot of practice to figure this bit out, but what I want you to do after the session is to just look outside, look for round things on a sunny day, and look how the light hits those objects. Or you can even get your own light. I've got lights here, and you put a ball there, and just draw the ball. Actually, just Google ball with light on it, and I'm sure you'll be able to find some really great examples. Oh yes. Now there's plenty of ways to do your shading or your rendering or how you want to do it. We'll cover those over time. I can't do everything right now because I've only got an hour. However, I would recommend following me, subscribing to me, and jumping on board. I think I'll have another session coming in January, so hang on to that one. Right, so that's nice. So these are warm-ups. I'm not going to get too fancy. Don't make it perfect. No point in making it perfect. I'm just going to put the fan on because it's getting pretty warm in here. Because I've closed all the windows because everyone's doing the mowing the lawns. Oh, it's much better. Put my microphone on. Okay, if you're still with me, say still with you. If not, that's all cool. I'll keep going. Right, moving on. That's minus everything. Okay, so we've done our circles, we've done our sphere. Oh look, someone's just subscribed. Looks like you did. You did sub, didn't you? We're gonna Marcia, because you requested something to draw, we're gonna go and have a look at this character here that you requested. Okay, I've forgotten what it was called. It must be a Pokemon, eh? Pokemon. Anyway, so you can download this from the platform. You did ring the bell. You can download this, get out of the way, from the platform, print it out, practice it, and send it to me. But I'm going to show you how I got to this stage. So I'll just reduce that down a bit more. All right, let's get rid of my logo. Now what I've done here is when I'm looking at a brand new character, I'll try and figure out what shapes, what shapes I'm going to use to construct the image with. And that's why I call it a construction image. Corviknight, that's right. So the two main shapes that I see here are for the head and for the torso. So you can just see it, I've just reduced it, but those are the shapes. And then you've got the legs and the wing. So it's very important to identify those top shapes. Once you've got those top shapes in, then you can go and put the detail in. Alrighty. So once again, what do we draw first? It's going to be a circle. Wow, you know how to draw a perfect circle now. Here's my eye line. Okay, so I've drawn the circle and I've also drawn the eye line. Actually, eye line could be probably a bit more of an angle, but it's all about just getting things on paper and not worrying too much about the detail. It's all about proportions. So how many heads fit in the body? So if I do this, the entire body is 3 heads, including the head. Well, 1, 2, and 3. Now you've got a surefire way of keeping your character in proportion. If you don't do it this way, guess what's going to happen? you may end up with something like this. What just happened? Okay, what just happened was that we didn't do our proportions correctly. Well, this could be a great little character, but it's not a Corviknight, is it? So let's go back to the original drawing. 3 heads, so circle, circle, circle. And next part, we've been looking at the torso. Okay, the torso is everything from here down to your pelvic area. That is the torso. All right, so I'll constantly refer to that area as a torso in future episodes. Okay, there's the torso. Keep it light and keep it rough, because we're not going to be using all these rough lines. You can draw over them, and then if you've got a light box or you've got a window or whatever it's going to be, you can trace over it and make it nicer. So this is just a rough drawing. Keep it light, keep it rough, and don't worry about mistakes. Don't use a rubber. If you're using a rubber, throw it out. Okay, so we've got the head, got the torso, and then we're going to add in the wing. And it's quite a similar shape to the torso, so we're going to have to figure it out later on. And the feet. So I've drawn in a couple of basic shapes for the feet. I'm not going to put in the toes yet. However, I've done the shapes for where you place the toes. Now we can go and place the toes. Or the claws, shall we say. Now I wouldn't go too dark at the moment, or too detailed, because we may need to manipulate and change them around a bit. Okay. Now let's get into the head. Oh, you do remember doing this. Oh, this is fantastic. And I believe, Marsha, you even have my drawing book, haven't you? One of the students watching this today has been using my cartoon project book. Hopefully he likes it. Cool, and now let's have a look at the head. I tend to leave the head till probably halfway through until I've got the proportion correct. Because if I don't have the proportion correct, everything else is going to look funny. And it's a good idea now to, once you start getting into the details, is to not have such a thick pencil. So to reduce it, either bring it up like that, or use a HB or something like that. But I'm still using a B pencil. Just bear with me, I'm getting my outline sorted. And what I'm doing here is I'm drawing the silhouette, or the outline of the character. So I've done the shapes. Now I'm going, is everything in the right place? Okay. So my eye does this. It follows it around. Okay, as you can see, if we start from the top, we've got, oh, yeah, oh, thanks, mate. Thanks, mate. I'm going to go around the outline, or the silhouette of the character, and make sure my shapes are correct. See around here, there's a whole lot of negative space, and we call that negative space. Okay. And I'm just going to add that in, because it's going to help me to place my, place the parts of the body or the wing in the right place. You see there's a bit of a, if you look up here, there's a bit of a juts out. Yeah. Good. All right. So I'm going to follow it around. Now watch carefully. Once again, just build up your line work. Oh, look, there's a bit of a hump there for the wing, like so, and up we go like that. Now I'm looking at all these negative shapes. And you've got the same thing here. So if you just blacked out the main character and you had a line there, you'll see negative shapes. And I'll explain that a little bit later on. It's a drawing concept that we can sort of figure out as we go. And now we're going to come back underneath the tail. I'm not going to get too crazy about making it perfect, because I know I'm going to always adjust it. I'm quickly doing this. Now you don't, the whole point of drawing like this is to get it over time, try and get it done as quick as possible. But while you're still learning, take your time. Now I'm going to just sketch out this, and I'm going to look at my negative space. I'm going to come around underneath, and there's the tail. Must be a bit of a wing part underneath. I don't know what that is. I'm sure it's something useful. And then sort of getting a lot of detail coming around here. So I'm not going to get too bogged down on actual detail here. There's also the wing part underneath. It comes up, it comes out, right up to, must be something like a wing up there, up to his beak. Yeah, it's pretty good. And up to the top, random. Right, so I've just drawn the outline, and I've pulled everything together. And then we can go through and we can start putting in some detail for the wings, the feathers. Now, once again, keep it rough and light. I'm quickly putting it in because I'm not going to do exactly what I've just drawn. I'm going to put a piece of paper over top of it and redraw it again, and that's what I want you to do. All right, let's have a go. Now, this originally was the guideline where the eye should go. That's completely wrong, isn't it? So I'm just going to bring it up just a touch. It's okay to fix things up. And I'm going to draw a line through there. Here's my eyeball. There it is. Or eye, should I say. And then, cool. Alright, now let's figure out what's going on here, Rob. So many things. The more detail in the drawing, the longer it should take. But this first part, the planning, the structure, the proportions, the outline, it all adds up and it helps you to create the best illustration ever. Okay. Now the rest is all about placing the detail. And what I find is that passing over the construction image, like reverse, 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 giving that to a student, I find that I can just lay them to it and you guys can smash it out quite easily. So if you practice your drawing, this gets easier and easier. But you can watch my process too, because I think it's important to see other people draw at the same time. If you've got any questions, pop them up on the screen. All right, like it. So this is what you call a rough drawing, and that guy's still mowing his lawns. One moment. Hey! Honestly, why couldn't you do it at 5 o'clock like all the other normal people? All right. If we have any other viewers, you can write something too if you want. What do you think of my hair? Okay. Right, you got your rough drawing. This part should, over time, you should be able to do this quite quickly. Now, we've only been drawing for 20 minutes, so the idea is to be able to plan your drawing quickly, roughly put everything in the right place, and then do this. So there's two ways to do this. In a digital format, I tend to do this and create a new layer. If you're just drawing with pencil on paper, which is good, I've got a really cool drawing board that you may like. If not, that's okay. But I'll show you pictures later on, put it on the website. It's got an acrylic sheet along there. You can put a light underneath it. It's got some stands, and you can do exactly this. So if you're interested, let me know. I'll show you what it's all about. An example? Oh, it's probably somewhere. I'll show it to you later. Anyway, so we put a piece of paper on top of our rough drawing, and we go through and we do our line art. Now, line art, I struggle to make it pretty. It's not really what I enjoy the most. I like doing the rough stuff. So, Hulk has returned. Oh. Thanks, Marcia. I have started 46 minutes ago. That's fantastic. It's not too bad, eh? And this is just the first lesson. Now, when you're drawing your line art and you want to try and make it look like Mr. Pokemon here or Mr. Corviknight, to get your line work looking like this, you have to be patient and take a deep breath. Now, I'm only going to do a little bit because I don't want to be here all day. I want it. Yeah, okay. So I'm just reading messages. So that's why I'm talking to myself. Now you can do it in one stroke like this. Or you can do it you can build up like that. So now we've done all the rough line work. It's all about just refining your rough drawing. And this is how it's done, believe it or not. Okay, now I could probably spend an hour cleaning this up. This is what it's called. It's called a cleanup. In animation terms, a cleanup. However, I don't have time to spend cleaning this up because we're sort of going to wrap up pretty soon. So I'm going to do about 5 minutes. You should sort of see my process. And try and duplicate it. But the great thing about this process is that when I do my cleanup, I'm not guessing. And that's right, Marcia, I was very angry at the mowing guy or woman because they could have waited till 5 o'clock. That's all right too. What's your dad up to, Marcia? Is he watching? Or do you have anyone else with you? Yeah, that's looking pretty good. The longer you spend on something, the better it looks, which is what I've learnt. If you spent 5 minutes on a drawing, it's going to look like a 5-minute drawing. But if you spent an hour on a drawing, it's going to look like an hour's been spent on it. So just keep that in mind. When you're doing your cleanup, you start to notice things that are not quite in this right place, but that's okay. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. Trust me, I've been there. The whole idea is to practice your technique, your drawing abilities, your getting to this point, because at the end of the day, you want to be designing your own characters, all right, and making lots of money off them, right? So that is generally the point of drawing. Copying is good too, all right. I do recommend copying a lot because you can learn from artists as well. I copied a lot when I was younger, but now I tend to do my own stuff. I think for when I finish this video, I'll probably fast forward this, I'm not too sure. So Marsha's just asked me, what if you spent 5 whole days on a Lego? Drawing a Lego, I assume. It would look pretty awesome, I think. Imagine that. You could draw a whole city. So I'm going to just move on to the coloring side of things for now. I'm a big digital artist, so I do a lot of digital drawing. However, if you don't have what I've got, you have your color pencils, or you have Prismacolor, or you have what you have. Okay, but I'm going to teach you how I draw it using Sketchbook Pro and using layers. Oh, okay. Did you win the Lego drawing, Marsha? So what I've done is I've just selected the mid-tone of this character, and I will go and paint underneath the line like so. But we're not going to go into color theory today because sounds like the lawnmower guy's actually in the house. We're not going to go into color theory today because it's a lot to take in. So I'm going to show you a couple of techniques quickly so you can take it away and do what you need to do. Actually, I might just do this. Oops. So imagine this is all cleaned up. Okay. This is an interesting sort of way to learn how to color by copying someone else's artwork, because you can see how they've utilized light. So for instance, this part here and down here. Now, because I haven't finished it, it may not make too much sense, but sort of just having a look. I'm practicing, I'm figuring out, okay, the light's coming from this, down this direction. Everything on that side is going to have a highlighted piece. But as I said before, we're not going to go into color today. It's all about constructing your characters. All right. So I'm going to wrap it up. Hopefully you can take something away from this, this lesson. As I've mentioned earlier, it is a test lesson, it's a beta version, it's all about seeing if my platform is going to work well. If you've got any feedback, especially you, Marsh, you got any feedback, or the other person that had joined, I think it was, let's have a check on my phone, who was that? A couple of people joined, eh? Wasn't expecting too many people, but oh, Nugent. All right, that's the one. I've seen your name pop up in my news feed every now and then. Please feel free to submit your drawings to me, and I will mark them for you, and we will just go from there, see how it goes. And just to cover what we've just completed, we've done warm-ups, we did the circles, we did the drawing faces on the circles, we did the spheres, we put light sources onto them, and we also done the project with the construction image. Now there's another construction image there from The Life of Pets. And I'll catch you later, Marsha. Thanks for joining me. See you next time. I've got 2 more minutes to go. There's the Life of Pets construction image. Please download that, have a go at it, and send it to me, and I'll mark it, and we'll review it next time. If you come and join me next time, the next one's in January.